Luke on Shaman TV, joined by Chris Millington. So we'll start with the Ashton game, a 2-2 draw. What did you make of that game?
Really entertaining game. I thought we had a very young mixed bag of players out. Obviously some registered lads, a couple of youth teamers and a number of trialists, so a group who hadn't played together a great deal. But I thought they acquitted themselves fantastically well. Scored a couple of good goals, created a number of good chances. Pleasing to see Aaron Cosgrave, Angelo Capello and Andrew Olawabori working so hard and working so well together as a front three. And I thought we had some fantastic passages of play, and over the full 90 minutes I'd say we probably had the better of the game. Ashton clearly grew into it in the second half and imposed themselves in terms of the physicality and their experience a little bit on our young group. But no, I thought it was a really worthwhile experience.
So you certainly had plenty of chance in the first half of that game and deserved that 2-0 lead and possibly could have had a few more.
Yeah, and it's a familiar story, isn't it? I know people will be bemoaning the fact that we've not scored more goals today, but as long as we're creating the chances, we know that we'll score. And the pleasing thing at the other side of it is that defensively we look really solid and there's a real structure to us. So really pleased all round.
Of course, in the second half, Ashton certainly coming out a lot stronger, got themselves back into the game, got themselves back level. Maybe some sloppy defending in that.
Yeah, I think the two goals are on a different day, maybe with a group who we've maybe worked with a little bit longer. They don't happen. We deal with both situations much better. So we're not worried about that. We think the mistakes that have occurred in those two moments are largely through inexperience and a lack of cohesiveness in terms of the group having worked together for a particular amount of time. So certainly not concerned about that. I think that's perfectly acceptable given the group that we're out there, and we've got to take the positives from it, which were some fantastic passages of play. They understood the system and what we were trying to do. The established registered lads all played well and had an impact on the game, and some of the trialists really showed some good stuff, so very positive all round.
Just in a very quick turnaround, and it was off to Curzon Ashton here with a 1-0 win.
Yes, I'm a goose, mate. I've not had any lunch either, so my perception of what's gone on might be slightly off key. But I really enjoyed this as well. I thought the second half it did become a little bit like a pre-season friendly, where the tempo went and the urgency went, and it wasn't quite as entertaining later on as it had been earlier in the game. But fantastic to get 90 minutes into so many lads today, and that was the primary purpose of it. We wanted to see some traits around our out of possession work. We wanted to see some traits in terms of what we were doing in possession. We wanted to show Bromley what we're all about. Now they were here watching, so they'll have learned a fair bit about what they'll come to face next Saturday. All in all, a really worthwhile afternoon.
Of course, Jamie Stott scoring from a corner. Set piece is obviously something we haven't necessarily been too great at the last couple of seasons.
No, and we've been working on them, so it's something that we want to do better. We've got some excellent delivery in the group. Tyler Golden, who gets the assist, has been working incredibly hard to improve his set piece delivery. We've got others within the group who can as well. So it's something that we know we can be better at, and we've worked to try and make sure that the consistency of delivery, the consistency of the players attacking certain areas is going to be there, and if that consistency is there, then I anticipate we'll score more goals off corners and free kicks.
Of course, throughout the game, plenty of chances, just couldn't seem to find the back of the net. The approach play certainly pleasing.
Yeah, very good. And listen, you've got to remember, Oldham were here not so long back, and again, the amount of money Oldham have spent on buying players and paying wages for forwards is it pales in our budget and our wage structure. It pales into insignificance by comparison, and I think they scored one decent goal here, and then the other came from a goalkeeper error. And Curzon Ashton managed to score against Oldham, which they failed to do against us. So let's compare ourselves to one of the favourites to go up here, Oldham Athletic, who came here and had a rough ride against Curzon. And I think for large parts of the game today, we've controlled it. We've had passages of play where we've connected 35 to 40 passes and controlled possession in the opposition half, and then created a chance off the back of that. We've stung the keeper's hands on a number of times. We've got down the sides of him. There's been a square ball that Rob Harker should have finished better. He knows it. We've talked about it. There's been other opportunities that should have been finished better, and we know it. But it's pre-season. We have to compare ourselves to the best in the league. We compare ourselves to the might and the budget of some of the bigger teams, and I think we've done really well here today. So anybody who's got anything negative to say about the players' effort, contribution, willingness, and their ability to go out and represent Halifax Town the way we want them represented can come and speak to me, because I think they've done brilliantly well for us.
Of course, one final pre-season outing, that's Radcliffe on Tuesday before the season starts next week.
Yeah, and we've got to judge how we approach that now, so everybody's had 90 minutes into them. We'll weigh up whether or not we want to approach that with a last dress rehearsal ahead of Bromley, or whether or not it's just a case of bumping up minutes for those who need them, and we'll make that decision over the next 24 hours.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke.